CMPradio.net. You already know it's your boy Uncle P, man. And it's Tuesday. It's November 28th. I know everybody's already ate their turkey and all that good stuff. But right now, I want to tell you what we're celebrating here at CMP Radio, right? We're celebrating Giving Tuesday. And we're going to celebrate that by kicking off our year-end fundraising campaign. That's right. Uncle P's asking for money. Every day we strive to tell the whole story by amplifying the voices that matter, your voices. This year, we're excited to share that the Night Linfest Local News Transformation Fund, that's a lot, is supporting this important work by matching every dollar we raise up to $10,000. Right now, today, Tuesday, November 28th, and December 31st, as a nonprofit internet radio station that relies on audience support to pay the bills, this is a unique opportunity to set us up for a successful 2024. If we meet our goal of $50,000, it will allow us to focus on what we love most, telling stories that you won't find anywhere else. So do me a favor, give today. www.cmpradio.foundation.org/donate. You already know. It's cmpradio.net. It's the station.
Delco Sports 360. Good Monday night. I'm Dave Burman. We're live and live in color. And we are going to have a special show with, all the way to my left, the Strathaven High School great. His name is Chris Edwards. I got to get in the picture a little bit here. All right, let me look up. Okay, Chris Edwards, 2000 grad of Strathaven, 99 state champ. We're going to talk about that. Ridley High School grad, 2011, one of the greatest, is Dion Shaw. Dion is one of the assistant coaches for Imhotep, who plays Strathaven in the PIAA 5A state semifinal game at Coatesville, 7 o'clock on Friday night. First of all, guys, Dion, thank you very much for coming on the show. And an honor, I'm wearing my in salute of Chester. What a tremendous year. High school football, losing a heartbreaker 28-20 to Strathaven in the state semis on Saturday. Your brother, Dennis, is the head coach.
Appreciate being here, Dave.
All right, my man. And we got to talk about the Clippers. Now, you had a busy day. Imhotep, you guys had to go all the way up to Del Val, which is way up there north of Wilkes-Barre, Scranton. Probably had to take 3.5 hours at least to get there. That's a good team you played. They lost to these teams. Selinsgrove, who's now in the state semis in 4A. They lost to Harrisburg in the state semis in 6A. And Downingtown East they played. And they I thought they were the best team in District 1 overall talent-wise, but it didn't happen. But Del Val, the trip, I don't know, what time did you guys have to leave Saturday morning to go up there to play that game?
We left at 8 a.m. So, the bus ride was actually cool, too, because once we actually got down there, it was hunting season. So literally for an hour, we just seen an hour ride of hunters. guys set up in maybe 8 packs of just all orange trucks, pickup trucks parked on the on the roads. And when we got down there, they told us, don't be surprised if we heard like hunting gunshots during the game. And we actually heard a few driving down, but the ride down was smooth. We had to leave early, and the atmosphere down there was great. It was something different, obviously, but it was welcoming. It was a good environment. They had the country music playing up early. Had all the young kids in the community on the field playing. So it was a packed out place, probably an hour and a half prior to the game. It was one of them football environments, though.
Historically, Del Val's good. I mean, yeah, they produced a couple of Division I quarterbacks. One guy went to Shore, the Shore kid went to James Madison. I know that. But I worked in Mifflin County Radio in Harrisonburg, Virginia for a combined 26 years, so I know about hunting. They're so into that hunting. They get, in Mifflin County, PA, they get off Monday and Tuesday. So they would be off school today, and so I know all about it.
And that's crazy you said that. So, and that's the first thing when we got there. It was an older guy. He was like, he was saying, "Yo, it's hunting season. We're supposed to be hunting right now." And all the players apparently they had off of school that entire week. And so
the whole week,
our coach had made a joke like these kids is more focused on going to hunt some deer than the game. And it was but it was a good environment. But you could tell that was the environment where they was ready for that.
Close game, though, 10-7 at halftime. You guys were up, and all of a sudden you just wore them out in the second half?
Yeah, so our running back actually was out, too. Obviously,
Georgia.
Yeah, Jabri Coleman was out. Yeah. He was out against Roman last game, too, played the first quarter, but he was out. One of our starting offensive linemen was out. So, obviously, Tassir, receiver, who can't play due to the transfer rules.
Right.
He was out. Our starting safety
Where did
was
he
out.
transfer from?
Roman Catholic.
Or he coached last year.
Yeah,
assistant coach last year. So, but
So
anyway,
he came because of you.
But he knew Jasir.
No, but I'm saying like he liked you as a coach.
Yeah.
Right.
So so I trained him too, like outside
yeah.
so I had him since he was 7th grade. So that's like one of my
that's
favorite
one of your
guys.
kids.
Yeah, yep. So
He knew the deal, though, going over there, because he even said in the paper, "I want to play with my future Penn State teammate,
Kenny Walsley.
Yeah, Kenny Walsley." Mm-hmm. So, and that
what's his last name?
Wosley.
Yeah, I know him.
Yep.
W. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how you know all these guys, Chris Edwards, but anyway. So tell us. So is Coleman going to play Friday?
Yeah, Jabri, he's gonna be playing Friday. Yeah.
Well, that's a big pickup right there.
The kid that came from Roman, right?
No.
He's done.
The running back, the Georgia.
The Georgia running back is the one.
Is he a junior or senior?
He's a junior.
How big is he?
It's about 6'1".
How much does he weigh?
It says here 185. I got the roster right here.
Whoa, say about 225.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah,
he's put together.
Yeah, he's a Georgia. He's an
Downhill.
SEC. Yeah, SEC. He's a
Henry
SEC
kind of guy. Derrick Henry.
A little bit of Henry, a little bit of Henry, and a mixture of Swift. Not too much Swift. He's a legit SEC guy.
Yeah, he's again only a junior. He had 1,300 yards, and he's missed some games, 24 touchdowns. So
and that's what playing. I would say 85% of the first half games. So he'll easily next year he'll easily be. He got to be the number one player in the country. At least the number one running back in the country.
All right, so you pulled it out. 31-7, and
you
all
pulled
good.
It out 31-7.
Well, I mean, it was 10-7. I was giving updates at the game, and so now you get ready for Strathaven. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Your brother Dennis Shaw, what an unbelievable year! First-year head coach for Chester, 12-2, most wins in a season for the program. 3 straight years in the playoffs. First trip to the District 1 championship, 5A level, and just unbelievable. And I know you would have loved to be there on Saturday, especially if they won, and with the atmosphere and everything, with the Strathaven band and all that stuff. But give us your synopsis of Chester High football 2023.
Well, I was one of them guys who was able to see, the inside of how the entire process went, and it was. To me, it was no surprise. It was no surprise. I watched them do it, in the off season. Not even just this off season, just years building up to it. And like a lot of powerhouses, like the St. Joe's Preps, the Imhoteps, further up the road, it's not really an off season. It's nonstop. Once the season is over, you back in the weight room. You going. So Chester kind of adapted to what not too many county areas have done so far, and the way they adapt. So even when they scrimmaged us, just the little things when they scrimmaged us, you could see the difference on Chester 2 years ago and Chester prior. So their success, usually, I say guys, success don't happen overnight. Like theirs is like literally like a proven example. So like through the 7-on-7 season, being in a weight room in January, in December, when your season just ended in November, and that's a tough thing to ask out of a 16-year-old kid. Yeah. So, and they was consistent with it, very consistent. So, and Chester football never had a problem with athleticism. You know, this is an area where athleticism it's always going to be there.
It's in the water, baby.
It's in the water.
So
the only problem has always been, you know, obviously getting the standard set and having the right guys in there to have these kids adapt to. So the moment these kids adapted, which I seen a year prior to the success this year, the moment these kids adapted, it was no coincidence to the season that they had.
Yeah, the success that they brought.
No coincidence. If you was able to be in the inside, and the better part about it is, they'll be back there again. They'll be back there again next year, and there's no doubt in my mind.
Well, they're young.
That.
They're young. It's good.
They're young.
So you talked about
Chris, just turn the mic up a little bit. Yeah,
he could hear me.
Almost. Oh, he can.
Yeah,
Okay,
they can hear me.
Yeah, I like to swallow.
I don't like
mic.
to do that.
Okay, but anyway.
Yeah. So.
Oh, no, stop.
So what I would say is when I saw the Imhotep scrimmage and the Chester scrimmage, I caught glimpses of things, and you know, Imhotep's Imhotep. You guys are gonna have your guys. You guys are gonna get the best guys in the city, and people are gonna go there. Right. You got a staff that produces players, Division I players, but it's you base your program off of what you got. Right.
Right.
So these kids are just a different breed. You know, like if they were at a Chester, Strathaven, Upper Darby, Ridley,
yes.
If you sprinkled your running back here
right.
at one place, and then you had your receiver, and then you had 4 stud offensive linemen
right.
all over Delaware County,
or
even in the city of Philadelphia, right? It's a different ball game. Now you don't have role players, you have players.
Yeah, players.
So now your Division I Georgia kid can sit out 2 games. Another kid comes in, produces the same numbers.
No doubt.
So it's like, you sit out, you got the same, you got something better behind.
Yeah.
So the thing is this, right? So football's football. Disciplined football wins games. Right. So Imhotep, Chester went to the scrimmage. I was more impressed. Like I knew what Chester had because I'm around it, you know, when Bell was there, now your brother's there. And I've been around for 3 or 4 years. It's kind of like intertwined, like getting back into the whatever, like the network, I guess, right, Dave?
Right.
And seeing the young kids at Chester surprises me too. And I was telling Dave, because we spoke briefly after that scrimmage, he goes, "What you think?" I was like, "Well, Imhotep's Imhotep. Mm-hmm. They're gonna hit you in the mouth. They're gonna smack you, and after they smack you a little bit, either kids adapt, smack them back, or they lay down, right?
Right.
So that's how football goes. But what impresses me the most about where the program at Chester has been, they finished the season at 12-2. The staff did an amazing job. I mean, having a young coach like your brother, for Christ's sake, he wears cleats on the sideline and runs up and down. When number 2 took that pick back against Ruston, he's running with him. So he brings an excitement to the game. He's got a swagger to him, and he transitions that into the kids, right? So I personally believe that if they play disciplined football against Strathaven, it's a different game, right?
For sure.
I was planned on being there, but I had a prior engagement that I had, and I couldn't be there, but I watched it on my phone the whole game. And I saw glimpses of, like, greatness, right? Like where, you know, that second half, kid takes the kickoff back. It's like, holy shit.
Kwame, Cosby.
He takes it back, and it's like, yo, like, this is a problem. Yeah. Like, now they got in my head, as a football-minded person, and, like, you're thinking, like, even if they're playing you, they take a kickoff back. They got the momentum.
That's the momentum.
That's momentum. No, so that kind of takes the wind out of your sails a little bit. But then it's like, you go out, then you make a mistake. Then it's like Strathaven's 3rd and long. They jump off sides. Now it's like, now it's 3rd and 2. What's Haven going to do? They're going to hit you with the ISO or the trap. Boom, right up the gut.
And kill the clock.
Eat up the clock. Turn up real estate. So it's like, you know, you got all that. And then it's like where are we at? You know, it's what they did, a 10-minute drive
in the second half, and it kind of reminded me of the '98 drive. They had a 10-minute drive. They had 10. It wasn't 12 minutes like you guys at '98 against Berwick.
Number 3 team
when you
in the
won.
country.
Yes, but you should have won the state title that year too.
We had a field goal kicker that makes 2 extra
We're not going to
points.
mention his name, or he busts his chops all the time. But anyway, against Allentown Central Catholic, but they took up 20 minutes of the second half. Controlled the ball 20, and Chester had it for 4 minutes
In the second half.
In the second half.
So with all that said, right? It's like you're a football guy. You're from Delaware County. It's not just Imhotep. Like, you support your brother. You coach for Imhotep, right? Mm-hmm. But if Imhotep wasn't there, you'd be somewhere watching, right?
Yeah,
like it's in your blood. It's in your DNA. You want these kids to do good, whether you're at Tep, Chester, Strathaven, Ridley, wherever, right? So, I think leading up to the game, the whole Chester Strathaven thing, we talked about it 3 or 4 years ago, and just to see that and to see 2 communities come together that are so close, everybody has ties to somebody or someone, right? Mm-hmm. And just seeing how many people were there, and it was an amazing atmosphere,
amazing, right.
And it's a shame that unfortunately somebody has to lose, right?
Right.
And it's we talked about it Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Right.
We did that little live at my house, and it was like, well, whoever wins, they got to play Imhotep.
Right.
It's a different ball game. So it's it's the team speed, it's the physicality that you guys play with, it's the motor that you guys play with. Pad level's always good. Kids are coached the proper way. And the kids are good enough where they kind of coach themselves sometimes, where you just kind of put them in spots. So you don't always get that in a Chester, Strathaven, Ridley, Strathaven a little bit, if everything gels and everything's cohesive as a group. Don't get it twisted. Kevin Clancy's been doing this for 33 years.
For sure.
He's gonna. You know what he's gonna do.
For sure.
And you guys know what he's gonna do. But he's gonna put some sprinkles in there to try to get some little gashes, because they'll get plays. They're tough. They're gonna play you guys tough, but they're not gonna.
No doubt.
You guys are physical. You guys have a Division III offensive line that are in high school that are going to go to Division I school. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? The kids are 250 to 320 pounds.
Exactly. Yeah,
so you're playing against kids that are, you got a nose guard that's 200 pounds, and then you got Billy Brown, you got Will Luthol, you got some kids that are just they're big, but
they're all seniors, Strathaven. That's a big the line.
Yeah, so Connor Laws are center, tough kid, but it's a different it's pad level. It's got to if they can get under, and they listen. I hope it's a great game. Mm-hmm. I hope it's a contender game where the last time that we got together, I was coaching there, and the kids fought though. The kids fought to the end. You guys played, and it's you just want to see them get on the board at that point. You know what I mean? It's you got 11 kids going to Division I school. You got 11 kids. It's one side on defense, one side on offense, and you got kids that are going to Salisbury or Widener or something. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah, but I know it's a good thing, but it's
I want to ask you about Strathaven's offense. I've seen it for years. You lived it. You were on the offensive line. Some guys were saying it was like a wishbone offense, but it's the wing tee.
Yeah,
it's an old-fashioned. How do the offensive lineman? How do the kids not fumble? How do you not commit penalties? I just can't believe what I was seeing the other day.
So when I played, it was it was a different time. It was 24 years ago. So Mr. Clancy ran a really tight ship, and he wasn't a yeller, screamer. He's a church-going guy. He's got a big family, and it was almost like kids. It was you were afraid to talk, not afraid to talk to him. I don't want to say that, but your brother's approachable. If something's going on, he's going to knock on someone's door and be yo, come to practice. Yeah. Kevin Clancy's not doing that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the accountability's on the surrounding cast of the kids. So I guess he created an environment where it's a winning tradition. So when you go there, you're going to win, and you're going to practice and play the way you're taught to play. And if you don't, you're not going to play. So with that said, it's simple. The wing tee is a very simple offense. It's simple to gash on the defense, because if your kids get upfield, turn their shoulders, they're going to hit you for 4 or 5 yards. But guess what? There's 10 yards of the first down. You get 3 tries to do it. If you go for it on fourth, whatever. But he's going to run the ball. He's predictable. So it's one of those things that we just ran the ball. We turned up real estate. We always had a good fullback. You know, Pete Celebrate when I played.
Beast. And they had Mark Jones, one of the greatest players ever.
Mark Jones was the best player in Delaware County.
History.
As well as Kevin Jones, different players.
We had Billy White Shoes back in the day.
Yeah, but I'm talking like my generation, our generation, where, you know, like guys that I actually had the opportunity of playing with and sharing the field with, where, you know, like athletically, like you always have that one running back that can gash you. James Fisher, he's one of them kids that he's going to break one. If he gets through, he's going to break one. He can keep up with your team speed, but he's only one person. You guys got 11 kids like that. So your linemen are running down after him. You know, they run like a 4.8 40, so they're running after him. So it's that one kid. So we've always had the big play capability at the right time, right? So it's one of those things where we knew it as players. So, like, when we were down, like, I remember we were playing Dallas in 99. It was a Saturday at Westchester, and it's like, yo, man, like, Mark got called back for a touchdown. Celebrate did. Zan Grilly did. We scored 21 points, and they took it off the clock. I'm going to swallow my – I'm going to swallow my mouthpiece. Like, yo, we might not win. Like, we didn't lose much. I was 40-2, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, we didn't really lose, so I didn't know how to lose. So it's like, yo, what are we doing? So it was always like – and then – you never knew because, like, our quarterback always ran over the sideline. Kane Black, it's like, yo, we need to hit him with a counter crisscross here. Like, this is the perfect opportunity. We need to get something going here to get the momentum, because once you get that momentum shift in any football game, I don't care if it's Imhotep, Malvern Prep, St. Joe's Prep, you know, it's one of those things. Football is a momentum changer, right? If you make a big play, like just like the Eagles, right? Number 24 intercepts the ball, changed the momentum of the game. Ellie kicks a field goal, going overtime, then Hurts runs one in, you know, so it's momentum. So anything, Strathaven is one of those teams that are disciplined. They rarely do anything wrong. But they do a lot of 3-and-outs because, you know, it's easy. You can defend them, you know, but...
you can?
Yeah, you can defend it.
Okay, well, the other day, the penalties really hurt.
Yeah, like you could defend it. It's just one of those things. Like, listen, like, if they're evenly matched across the board, they're a tough team, right? They're evenly matched. Chester and Strathaven were evenly matched. When you talk physicality, team speed, no. James Fisher's fast. Chester's fast. But it's not just Harris, number 2. It's 18. It's his brother. It's the other number 5 or 6. Like, you know.
Nari Melvin,
Yeah, so it's like you got, like, they have weapons, but those weapons aren't like, they're not going to Georgia.
Right.
You know, so like that's the thing. So Strathaven will gash you. They're going to hit you. They're going to play disciplined football. But, you know, I just hope they get on the board this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I care about because, like, you know, in football, you know, these kids work so hard. Like you said, you ask a lot of a 16-year-old kid, like, after football's over, it's like, oh, now you're in the weight room. Now you're doing this. Like, we ask a lot of these young men to do things. And at the end of the day, it's almost like rewarding to see that as like adults and coaches.
For sure.
So,
well, real quick here, Strathaven actually from 2012 to 2018, I moved here back in 2015. I couldn't believe they were in a drought.
Yeah,
they did not have a winning season. I wouldn't say they stunk.
They were not even above 500.
One year 6-6, but then all of a sudden, starting in 2019, the same year, 2019-20, when Chester turned the corner. Since then, 52-8 Strathaven is.
That's pretty good.
Chester, by the way, from 2009 to 2018, 10 straight losing seasons.
It's crazy.
And then LaDonte kept building and building. And, your brother was been on the staff since 2015, Dennis. The record Chester 2019 through this year is now 41-12.
That's amazing.
More wins to come. By the way, Donald Johnson's checking in. Tyrone Ricks, 10 of life. But so there you go. But back to the Clippers real quick, Dion. Congratulations on an unbelievable year for them. You're part of the. Come on, it's blood, man. Is that your mom who checks in?
Yeah.
What's her name again?
Tammy.
Tammy.
Weathershaw.
All right. Okay.
Does she talk on the threads and everything?
I'm not sure. She just started working on Facebook. She be all over the place.
Her name sounds familiar, but
she be on your post though. She be all over your post.
But tell us about you guys growing up. Tell me about the brothers and all that stuff. It's a Dennis, you, and
man. So all right. So I got 11 siblings total. Well, it's 11 of us total. 11 of us
I
total.
think maybe Dennis said that at the first interview.
Yeah, it was 11 of
Wow.
us total. Man, I could be off. I think it's 6 boys and 5 girls. But we all, like, it obviously it was always all football, like all football.
No basketball.
It was basketball. It was basketball.
Football goes with basketball, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't leave out boxing, especially if my dad's saying this.
Well, yeah,
So-
because Zane, you're related to Zane in a
He
way.
just reminded me of that. I'm glad
Because Zane's family, the mom's side is boxers. I know that.
Yeah.
Deb.
And that's my aunt, so that's my dad's sister.
So that's your dad's sister.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I go back a million years with that. But you know,
Okay.
well, I go way back because Elman's Variety Store, and then across the street, Zane used to come in. My mom grew up at Third and Parker, right across from William Penn.
Okay.
So yeah, man, it's just I knew Zane. And I can go on about the radio career in Central PA and Chester, all the games they played out there in basketball. But yeah, so the Shaw family.
It was sports. It was just sports in general. But now the generation before us, which is my dad, his nephews, they all box. Surprisingly,
You guys actually look like boxers. You got like the head for it. You know what I mean?
Literally, people identify as like they might not even know who my brothers is, and if they see me and they'll say that's, and I'm pretty sure he knows exactly what I'm talking about. So they can tell I'm a Shaw based off my head alone.
Yeah.
So you'll know who my father is.
Yeah.
Probably the most
Isn't it funny that I said
charismatic.
that?
The most
like the head. You got like
charismatic
a
of your
boxing head. Like, you know what I mean?
All right, Solo, Jamar Shaw. He unbelievable. You were a little bit too young. 94 state champs, Chester. You should have seen.
What, basketball?
Unbelievable. Yeah, basketball player.
He was younger than, he's older than Jameer, right? Nelson.
Jameer graduated
He was
2000.
Yeah, he was I remember doing like the
because
Delco
it was
lunch
an
and
incredible
shit,
year.
yeah.
Strathaven state champs in the fall, and then Chester
Chester
basketball in the
state
spring. But anyway, so again, congratulations to the Shaw family, to everybody at Chester. I don't know what else to say. Can you just it sucks to lose.
It does.
It sucks,
And
but
that
we
was
learned a lot from that game.
A lot.
And we're going to have to meet a team. It could be Strathaven
Right.
again next year or Ruston, but you got to go one game at a time.
Well, listen,
Sorry.
like, before you talk, I mean, it's the third week in the playoffs. They get to the district final game. They beat a good Ruston team.
Yeah.
Oh.
They beat a good Ruston team.
Chase Hatton?
If that number 2 kid, Harris, doesn't intercept that ball and run it back for a touchdown, it's a different ball game.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's like
that's like the momentum.
yeah, the momentum change. So like you get that momentum shift, especially in playoff football. And like we talked about it before, coming to Chester on a Saturday sucks.
Grass, on the grass.
Yes, I don't mind playing on grass. I think football should be played on grass.
Right.
Personally, I think a lot of injuries created on that next turf or whatever they call it. When I played at Delaware, it was a natural grass field. When I played at Strathaven, it was a natural grass field. When I played Ridley, it was a natural grass field. Haverford, everywhere, we played on natural grass. I remember when I played up in Maine, it was so freaking cold out there. They had the worst AstroTurf. Like when my coach was like, "You need to cut him." I'm not cutting him. I'm gonna break my arm. You know what I mean? It's like 20 below.
So you won the national championship at Delaware. What grade were you? What year were you in? It
My
was
junior year.
2003, and it was Tubby Raymond recruited you.
So I played for Tubby for 2 years. There was a guy on the post that said I did get recruited by Tubby and Bob Sable, and then Tubby ended up retiring.
Casey Keeler came
Casey
in.
Keeler got hired.
You know him?
He was at Rowan, and he came in. We won a national championship in 03. In 04, we should have actually won it again. We had a transfer quarterback from Missouri, Sonny Riccio, threw 2 picks against William & Mary. We were up 21 against William & Mary, and we lose. How do you lose? Why not run the ball? You know, like.
Okay. And you're questioning Casey.
Yeah. No, I'm not questioning him. Like you can't listen. Like you're a player. Like you respect the idea of what your coaches are doing, but we're all adults at that point. You know, like you're in 20, 22, 23. Playing a game that generates income for a school,
right.
And it's like we're out there sacrificing our bodies, and it's like, like we're up 21, we can go back to the chip and win it again. Like, not many people did that other than Carson
But you got
Wentz.
one. You got a state championship and a national championship. Now, now you want to just again Chester football's wrap up 2023 from your standpoint, and hopefully we can get Dennis on maybe next Monday. It'd be great to wrap up the season himself.
Yeah, man. So like overall, just on their success, it just like I said prior, it was beautiful to watch.
Sure was.
Especially when you was able to be on the inside of it, and most importantly, the adversity that they faced. Week 1. And if you, like I said again, if you were on the outside, week 1 would have scared the heck out of you. I'm not sure. I don't even think Chester scored that game.
32-0.
32-0.
Perkiomen Valley, who's a
that
tremendous
scared
6A
me.
program.
Because we were on the show and it was like, yo, like, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah,
what
30.
what's going on?
And to me personally, I think that was the game. That was their best game of the season. That's
Because they lost.
Literally, that's what they needed. Because it was a lot of hype.
There was a lot of high.
It was so much coming into the season. I mean, personally,
Yeah.
where it was too much coming in, where not enough was already done.
Yeah.
So just getting that early loss was a hell of a sting. Because.
But it's almost like you question it now. It's like, you know, I talk to people on the staff and it's like, you're going out to Cheltenham. Like,
Yeah.
what are you going to?
Yeah.
You're going to lose?
And
What's going on? Like, you got all
honestly,
this. It's scary because I root for Chester too because you want to see everybody you want to see greatness, you know, and it's like they got all this ability. It's like.
So and it's
like I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Like,
And remember, Chester's very young.
Very young.
Very young.
Yeah. And
it's
crazy.
They all played though.
They're old. I mean,
They all those kids played that were young.
Okay.
Like the freshman, 2 twins.
Yeah.
And it's crazy you say that though because after they lost that first game, you had two guys. You had a guy who would look at the rest of the schedule, look at Cheltenham, raise an eyebrow, look at down in town, automatically cross them off the schedule.
Yeah, I was like, they're going to be 0-3.
Yeah, so it was a good chance after losing that. A lot of people looked at their schedule as if they might not win any games till they get to the back of Del Valle, which is the Penwoods.
So you're right. You're 110% correct right about that because, I'm like, yeah, I went to your scrimmages. I went to your game. I know who your kids are. Like this kind of as an outsider, not on the staff, but I talk to them. It's like I'm a little nervous because they're coming off, like you said, off a high. You know, they get to the playoffs, they lose,
right?
Then then it's like it could have went either way, north or south, right?
So so I think that scrimmage was great for Chester because I mean, it showed them honestly, like you talked about with Sharhaven. I know exactly where you was getting at. Not saying they don't have a chance, that they're just not good enough. But when you're talking, when you start talking specifics as SEC football and guys with tremendous upsides, let's be honest, it sounds good, but when it's time to line up on across from
you
that
can
guy,
smack them.
it's not too much you can do. So when Chester lined up with Imhotep, other than the line part. You seen athletically these dudes can go with the best of the best athletically, and that's what I believe was a strength, but also knowing that, like I said, we all talked about how they also are young guys. That could have also been a gift and a curse, which I believe it was a gift because it showed them we can go with anybody, but it also was a curse because you still can't deter your opponent.
Humbled them a little bit.
Exactly. So it was a humbling experience. That week one was a humbling experience because they went into that game, and I'm speaking with firsthand knowledge. I mean, if I'm not at Imhotep, I'm at Chester. I'm still with them. I still consider to be part of the staff.
You're on the sideline, man. It was great.
So the same way when I'm there, I'm coaching them as well. I can't help it.
Yeah.
But Going into that scrimmage, it was you could take a lot from it. The best you could take from it is to show
they had some heart.
They had the heart, and they had the talent. The heart and the talent is, I mean, that's putting you over the 50% range of having success anyway.
Yeah,
and they had that.
You know what the crazy part is? When you look at their whole season as a whole, and you start to see some role players. Mm-hmm. I look at that 64 kid. What's his name?
Jerry Young. He's a senior.
I love that kid.
Yeah,
Joey, right? Is that Joey?
Jerry Young, 64.
So if he went to, let's just
real big one, right?
Yeah. No. He's not real big. He's athletic. He's big, but he's not 380.
No, he's real. Slim.
Yeah, he's real. He's like a big. He's athletic.
If you say 64, it's Jerry Young.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Right. So side to side athletically, you're talking about guys that could play, right? He could play. But it's one of those things. It's you take him from Chester, you put him in Imhotep, he's going to play Division I football just because.
No doubt.
He's going to play Division I football because they get recruited by the best schools in the country. Mm-hmm. They come to Imhotep.
Right.
I mean, they come there. You know what I mean? What's his name? Moore, the receiver.
Moore, yep.
Yeah, they all they had a kid that went to Baylor. He was a lineman. Mm-hmm. So they get big kids and they make noise at the next level, right? So it's you take a role player like from Roman, Chester, Strathaven, they're gonna have a better chance to get recruited.
For sure. No, for
yeah,
sure.
but like what I'm saying, so it's like one of those things. Like at the end of the day, it's like the kids responded to adversity, right? So at the end of the day, losing to Perkiomen Valley, like you said, it was a blessing and a curse because like they needed that. I think you're right. It was like, I'm sure your brother was like shitting a brick. He was probably like, like, sorry.
I don't
like
care.
he was probably like, yo, like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
What did I do wrong?
Right.
He takes the ownership. Like, how did we prepare? Did we prepare these kids the wrong way? Did we overanalyze things?
Right.
Did we do this? Are we putting too much pressure on them? You know what I mean? Because as a coach, we're adults, so it's like, yeah, we played the game, but now we're coaching the game to get these kids to make the proper plays and make everything that they need to do. And it's like, as a coach, it sucks because, like, let's be honest, when you lose, it does suck. You guys don't really lose much. You lost in the state championship 2 years in a row, right? Yeah. So it's got to be this year.
Yeah, it's no
Yeah.
choice.
So there's no choice. It's either.
No choice.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. So
if we don't, our season is just
it's a waste.
So I would have rather lose 4 weeks prior.
Yeah, because that's my thing. So like what's that? Who's the kid I played? Tyler Palco, the dad.
Oh, West Allegheny 3 years in a row.
No. They played them in the state championship game.
No. They Penn Trafford beat him 2 years ago in overtime. Beat Imhotep.
That was the coach against me at West Allegheny. Palco.
No. Palco coached. Bob went to Mount Lebanon, who beat St. Joe's Prep 2 years
Oh, that's
ago.
what I'm thinking about.
Beat St. Joe's Prep and beat St. Joe's Prep
They
up pretty
did,
good.
and they beat them up good. So it's like,
What year was that?
Like 3 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Beat St. Joe's Prep in the state championship.
Yeah.
In the state championship.
So you guys lost and
Oh,
St.
yeah.
Joe's Prep. So
Absolutely.
So hold on, listen.
All right, but anyway, and then you guys last year lost to Pine Richland, Imhotep, and Pine Richland, unbelievable.
And it's like that
who beat up
number 22 was gashing you. I was
Pine-
like, I watched the whole game.
Pine
I'm like,
Richland beat up St. Joe's Prep by like 25-30 points a few years ago in the state championship. St. Joe's Prep's lost two state finals.
Yeah, so
And so Pine Richland had Jerkovic, went to Boston College, but anyway.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. So the year that we played you guys at Ridley, St. Joe's Prep played Garnet Valley, and it was a massacre, right?
The back-to-back years.
Yeah, back to at Ridley, and it's like I would love to see that Imhotep Strathaven game locally, and it was supposed to be played at Northeast or something.
Right.
But I was talking to who's the head coach from Bartram, Mike.
Jim Chapman.
Jim Chapman. I was talking to him earlier before I came in
Nice
here because
guy.
he lives in my neighborhood.
Hell of a job.
Yeah, he does a great job. And he was like, "Yo, it's supposed to be played at Northeast," and it was like something that it was just there would be too many people there, and they couldn't hand. I don't know. He didn't really know the specifics, but that's what he was gauging. Right. So I remember the year you guys beat Strathaven, and then at Ridley, and then the following day it was St. Joe's Prep, and it was the kid looked like Jalen Hurts at quarterback, their quarterback.
Oh, yeah, looked just like him.
Yeah, I'm with the hair. Yeah. And he was a dog.
He's a beast.
You're talking about Jeremiah Trotter's son. Started at Clemson as a freshman, Runyon's kid. You know what I mean?
This will take 30 seconds quick about Jeremiah Trotter's son. We played them last year in the game, St. Joe's Prep. First time I ever seen this on the field from a high school kid. At that moment, I knew he was going to be a professional. So he simply called out the entire play before the snap of the ball. The entire play.
Because his dad was an animal.
We adjusted.
Yeah.
We adjusted. So we were expecting to
This is Roman against
St. Joe's Prep.
Yeah.
We were expecting the coaches, obviously, because they do a great job over there, to adjust once we realized, that they knew what we were doing. And so he called out the adjustment. And whatever it was, he faked like he was going to sack, and he backed up. So our adjustment was going to be a pop pass to the tight end. They had no guy
right across the middle.
It was a pop pass.
Yeah.
So basically, he out-adjusted our call from our coaches. And he faked as if he was going, which was the look we thought we were going since it was third and long. We were sending three. And he acted as if he was going. We're throwing a pop pass. No one was in the middle. He backed up, pick 60.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
It was literally.
And he's not really big. He's 6 foot.
He's 6 foot, real solid.
Yeah, he's like his dad. His dad was never really.
It was literally the most purest football play that I witnessed on the defensive side of the ball.
You could talk about just pure athletic ability. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. You got like
McCord's the starting quarterback,
and like
State.
his dad's involved with the program, and he's at Ohio, you know what I mean? Like you got Hall of Famers,
Dre Swift.
yeah, on
Got
like
Anthony, Tony Sakis on
you
Anthony's
got-
a beast.
You got all
Junior.
these kids, man, like that their parents have made it. Like, I mean, Marvin Harrison's he's a Hall of Famer. Like,
Right.
he caught touchdown passes from one of the best ever do it, Peyton Manning. So it's like, you know, like him and Reggie Wayne and
Wayne,
everybody, like, you know, Dallas Clark, the tight end, like, you know, but their kids are playing in
Right,
Philadelphia
right.
or surrounding areas, right? So it's like, and like you got Jeremiah Trotter coaching on the staff too. So it's like you're getting coached by guys that played in the NFL for years. And like,
Hall of Famers.
yeah, like kids that you want, and these kids want to be there. So it's like it's all energy shift, man.
Right,
like if
right,
you win,
right.
people. It's like when you have money makes money, right? So at the end of the day, winners win, and winners are going to find winners, right? So that's just how it works.
Yep.
And it's a shame because like, you know, everyone's going to be talking. They're not like neighborhood kids and this, that, and the third. We know what it is, right?
Right,
Just
right.
like Roman Catholic pays kids to go there, just like St. Joe's Prep does. Malvern does the same thing. Haverford School.
Yep.
Everybody that's like, you know, a private school, the Interact, or any school that doesn't. These kids can go anywhere. In college, you
Right.
can go anywhere.
Right.
When
Right.
I went to
That's what it
college, if
is.
I didn't like my coach, I had to sit out a year and use a year eligibility.
Yeah.
Now they transfer
Get right out
and
of
they
there.
and they go to play. So, you know, if the high school kids can do it, and like, there's no loyalty. There's no,
Right.
you know what I mean? So,
yeah. Facts.
what are you gonna say, Dave?
Okay, well, I'm looking up. Yeah, St. Joe's Prep has lost in 2 state finals. So I'll get that. All right, Imhotep Strathaven. Let's get to that. 7 o'clock. I'm your public address announcer. Anything PIAA related at Coatesville High School basketball or football,
You're the man.
I'm the announcer.
You are the
Now
man.
remember, everybody's complaining. Oh, why is the game all the way out there? 2 years ago, the PIAA basketball state semifinals were held out there. Chester played Imhotep.
Oh, yeah. I went to that one. Yep.
And then after that was St. Joe's Prep and Lower Merion. Coatesville, they're always willing to host games. Unbelievable staff. Your kids are going to love you've played in some big stadiums before. But all right, so how do you combat Strathaven, Dion? What are you going to do here? You saw on tape. You know what they got. They Dan Connor. You got Jim Connor. Jim is technically the defensive.
So Jim Connor coached me, Mr. Connor, and his son Mike.
It's Dan Connor's dad.
Yeah, Dan.
Is he still on staff?
Mike Connor is Dan coaches at Penn State.
Okay. Yeah.
but Jim-
But
dad-
the dad came back when his son decided to coach at Strathaven. He was at Ruston.
Now Mike is the offensive coordinator.
No,
right?
Mike's the defensive guy.
Oh, Mike is the
So
defensive
look, the
guy.
one thing
All
I'll
right.
say about offensive guys,
Okay.
I was a predominantly offensive guy, but I like playing defense. I was good at it. But when I coach, I like to coach defense because it's easier to coach. You know, like football, like offensive line, it's hard. You got to step this way.
I think that's the hardest position.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Like to be a coach, like it's one of the hardest jobs.
Yeah, I
but
think
like,
that's the hardest position.
I'm going to answer before you. How does Imhotep respond to that? They're not changing anything they're doing. They're playing basic football. That's your answer because I know it is. You're not going to throw any wrinkles in there because you don't have to.
Well, tell us about your quarterback. Go in the Army. Mikhail Davis Jr. He does offense. I mean, unbelievable, running the ball and passing.
Yeah,
So it starts with him.
So he actually been doing great. The last playoff game against Roman, he was out. Obviously, we're out without Tassir Denmark. You know, the best receiver. You know, and
Man, he's
Where's he going?
Yeah, he's going to committed to Penn State. That's the one that was at Roman with me, one of
Oh.
my guys. So he's committed to Penn State, but we didn't have him for the playoffs, so he's been making it happen without him. Number 6, now Brown, who's a senior, Division I AA guy. He
What makes him a Division I AA guy?
late bloomer.
How big is he?
I have 6'1", 190 here.
And he's a receiver?
Yeah, but he's not legitimate 6'1". I'll say 5'11".
Yeah, that's a lot, right?
Yeah, 5'11".
Is he playing?
He's playing. He's playing. He hasn't played. He didn't play against Roman. Last game he played, but he still was banged up. So this week we'll have him a little bit more fresh. But as far as to Kelly Davis, he been making it happen. Like he's a winner. Like he's a winner. Like last week,
Winners win, losers
winners
lose.
win. Yeah. So flat out, Dave, he's a winner. We won 31-7 last week, and he threw 3 interceptions in that game. He started off with 2 interceptions, which we were down 7-0. Still came back, won a game. Against Roman, we were down 10 points.
This is your quarterback.
This is the quarterback.
How big is he?
I have it 6 feet,
foot.
200.
That's legit. 6 foot,
So
200 pound
he's
guy.
shifty?
He can run the ball. He's real fast.
So you're going to do a lot of quarterback draws. You're going to pull it down, run play option.
So it's RPO.
Pass RPO.
So the beauty of it is,
what position do you coach there?
Receivers.
All right.
So the beauty of the RPO thing is, Dave, we have a freshman wide receiver who's the next high of Denmark, and I had a chance. So I've been working with him since the summertime. So within minutes, I knew he was a special kid. Now already with the heads up. But anyway, this all falls back to your question with Kelly.
Yeah.
That the young guy just been stepping it up. Like I said, Tyser been out, number 6 was out, and we got to a point where it was time for something to be done, and he came in, stepped up as a freshman, and he been our leading guy since. But he's a freshman. He's a very special talent, but he's a true freshman. I mean, just turned 15 years old.
Is that Joey McLeish you're talking about?
No, wide receiver, Kareem Hunt.
No, that's the next quarterback, McLeish. McLeish is the man.
That's the next quarterback.
He can sling. McLeish can sling it.
Wears number 18. And
there he is. Remember the name. He's 5'9", 155. Kareem H-A-Q-Q.
And this is me saying this now. 3 years prior to when they're going to be seniors. Him and Joy is going to be absolutely ridiculous. So it's
the quarterback.
Man,
the kid I like.
Yes.
I seen
you got to see them too. You got to just
Do you have a JV team there? Do they play JV games?
Our JV team, so they play the season. Our JV team is, I think our JV team could compete for like a run.
No,
like a run.
No shoes.
But there was no juniors on that JV team.
I don't think you were at the scrimmage. Like we're talking about McClish, the kid. Like, and I was
it's Joey McLeish. No relation to Rick McLeish, the legendary flyer, or maybe he is anyway. McLeish.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
McLeish.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to hear his name a lot. McLeish on that pass. McLeish on that
game-winning Stanley Cup 50 years ago. Tip-in goal. Freshman 6'1", 170.
He's good. But to conclusion to Mikael Davis, like I said, the kid Kareem Hunt, literally a true freshman, just turned 15 years old. He's
crazy.
Out of all the talents I've been around in the last 7 years, Dave, he's one. I'll put him in that top tier category. And he's just been a guy where we had to get down the field. He took the place of a 4-star.
He's a freshman.
He's a freshman.
So if you're a Strathaven fan, you hope these guys wouldn't be able to play Friday, but you're getting.
You hope their whole starting lineup don't play.
Well, Jabri Wallace Coleman going to Georgia.
So our backup for Jabri, Sire Coleman, he's a sophomore, but he has about 15 Power 5 offers as well. He's Jabri backup. But as a freshman, that backs us up. So our freshman has 7 playoff touchdowns right now.
That's crazy.
3 of them was crucial. So his guys in Strathaven, in their in their advantage, like we are out of our offensive tackle. We are out of our starting safety. We are out of our our 4-star.
Still doesn't matter.
Yeah, we got some young guys that's special.
I hope it's a game.
And to what Clancy does is like
shit. You played against him, so you
already
know what it is. And you were on one of the down years. That's why Ridley won. We're just going to clear this up now, all right? Because Ridley never beat Strathaven when I played there, ever.
Yeah, we won. So I was okay.
I'm messing with you. I just wanted to see you smile.
No, that's true. But to my offense, right? So Ridley, we played in this game when I was his junior. We played, and you know what? We was the first year when they started letting teams like LaSalle and them enter our playoffs. So we beat a North Penn team where North Penn was never.
Oh yeah, I remember that year.
We beat that
was a surprise.
They were ranked 13th in the country on USA Today. They had us projected it. The title of the article was Ridley versus Goliath. Like they were projected to beat us 40-0.
Yeah.
We went to North Penn. We played them at Colesville.
Yeah.
Played them at Colesville. Actually.
I remember that game. It was like you shocked the world.
Literally shocked the world.
First round districts.
So. No. It was actually the game to play in the state semis because we played LaSalle that following week, and not to even get off record. Get off record. So, back to Chester and Strathaven and us in this game.
Yeah,
we beat a North Penn team that would have had a better chance of matching up against a LaSalle. Strathaven beat a Chester team that would have had a better chance of matching up against Imhotep. Now. Strathaven runs the ball. What I can say confidently that you're running the ball on them 3 on that defensive front. I mean, one's going to Ja Witt's going to Pitt. The other.
I wish I was playing. We had a lot of Division I up front
Oh no,
too,
for sure.
baby.
That the last.
I'm telling you, it would have been knuckle for knuckle.
Most
Would have been a bloodbath.
I watched all your games on YouTube.
I'm telling you right now. I played hard. So I'm not talking about myself.
So when he was saying how you match up, when he asked you the question about how we going to, you were 100% right. We're not going to change anything.
You're not,
because
why would you change anything?
And if you're a team that, and so when people see like that Del Val team we played was a good football team.
Yeah.
They just beat good teams. If they're playing in this damn near December, you're a good football team.
Well, anybody playing in December is
You're
good.
a good football
if
team.
you're in a state, if you're get out of the districts, you're a good
There you
football
go.
team.
So
but then you got to play Imhotep.
For our strength, like in the past, Imhotep was known for their power, for their safeties, their D-backs, their corners.
Now you got linemen.
Now you got D linemen. When you beat teams like that, it comes with discipline. Now we're a disciplined team. So when you go and get to a Chester team, a Philadelphia team, an inner city team, you are let's be honest. The opponents are expecting an undisciplined team. Strath Haven got an undisciplined team if they had that many flags, whichever way you want to call it.
So what I'm going to tell you is this, and I spoke to Dave about it. I watched the whole thing, and it's like they take the kickoff back in the second half. I'm like, I turned it off. I was like, this is over. Yep. Like it's in my head. It's like it's over.
Chester,
like,
Cosby.
but it's like it's over. I'm like, well, how are you going to come back from a momentum off the rip?
I'm gonna hit that.
So it's like, how do you not build off of that and smack them in the mouth, 3 and out, dagger in the heart, and kick their ass?
So I'm glad you hit that. So that's kind of where I was getting at. So like the little different. So vice versa. At Imhotep, like we're already going into the game as if, listen, we don't, the refs, things ain't gonna go our way. Flags is going to be called.
You're good. People don't want everybody hates on goodness.
And so that's just what it's going to be. So you have to do obviously more than enough so that those don't be,
leave it on the field.
Literally leave it on the field.
Yeah.
So vice versa, like I said, like on the discipline part, Chester obviously has been a disciplined team all year, but Strath Haven is they
don't jump off sides.
They haven't jumped off sides in the last millennium. They don't jump off.
If you do, it's a problem.
You're not going to play for Clancy. So all those guys, all 11 guys.
He'd be like, I guess we can't go on 2 then, guys. We just can't go on 2.
And so
we jump off sides.
The best part about football, especially when you're in playoff football and you got to win, is knowing that all 11 of your guys are going to do their job.
Oh yeah,
that is the best part.
And if they're not playing.
They're not going to play.
No.
You know what I mean? They're not going to play. So the Strath Haven plus is they're going to be.
They're going to play disciplined.
They're going to play disciplined football for 4
They're going to give you everything they got.
The scary part with Imhotep this year is Imhotep is still on top of the talent part that comes with it. So what I think of, to your question, with Strath Haven and Imhotep, like. Personally, we were all watching the Chester game. We wanted Chester to win.
You wanted to play against your brother.
We want. I wanted to play.
You wanted Chester because you started the season with him.
We wanted that environment. And as far as like the outside, like the skill, we wanted that.
Absolutely.
Personally, knowing Clancy and his success, I knew I knew it was going to be a 50-50 game one way or another.
Yeah.
One way or another. I went back to the Roman. I made those examples. Comparing wise, because I believe that Chester would have been able to work against our weaknesses better than Strath Haven would have.
Because
they have speed. So our
speed kills.
Yes. Our strength is that D line, bro. It's just that this D line is nothing. I've never seen nothing like this in high school football.
So it's like Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter.
You can't do absolutely nothing.
How big is the kid in the middle?
So the kid in the middle, which is funny because he's the littlest one. His name is DJ Johnson. I'm anxious to see where they got him listed at. What number is he? 52. I'm gonna tell you something about him. He's the smallest one, so he's
probably got all the heart.
Is he related to Coach Johnson?
I'm not sure.
But you want to get into him a little bit. So he's 6 feet 260.
6 feet 260. Realistically, about 5'10". And
he's a smush soda can.
He's a
fire plug.
Pit bull. He do
muscles
the
you.
Oh, he's the muscle. He's the muscle.
I love kids like that.
He's the muscle. So right next to him, you have Zamathis. Zamathis is 6'7". I think he just dropped his top 5. Alabama. Like he's a guy who he can run a whole field. They can run a whole field within 5 strides.
But the strength. So actually, I believe that this kid is the best football player in the state. And I put no one over my receiver, Denmark, who's going to Penn State. But Ja Witt, which is he's the backbone of it all. He's going committed to the University of Pittsburgh. He is
What's
a man.
he play?
D tackle.
Right.
So
Why is he going to Pitt?
6 foot.
How
But
big
still,
is he?
it's
6 foot what?
Division
He's
One.
he's a-
Mo Nelson, Hall of
he's a-
Famer, checking in. He says,
that's my
doing a
guy.
hell of a job on the air here, Mr. Dion Shaw. Mo's
Mo,
checking in.
appreciate
Yeah,
it, bro. That's my man.
he loves hearing you talking
He's
more
a-
than me and Chris. There you go.
That mean a lot from a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, there he is. Okay, Mo. There you go.
Congrats too, Mo. Yeah, man. So Ja Witt is I'm not sure if you got a chance to see him play. He's one of them guys where he carry it like that on the field and off the field. Like he's strictly about the business,
Yeah.
and the way he carry it, it everyone else on the team feeds off of that. So, like you said, when you got that type of tier athlete, you said it earlier prior, when you watch it, you can coach,
You can coach.
but you also can watch the game.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. They're going to coach yourself.
And I've never been a part of a program where that's been the case.
So we're not talking back in the day when we played, but like that was the beautiful part when you had kids that are Division I caliber football players that they can make the adjustments themselves when they see alignment. So like that kid that you're talking about that's going to Pitt, if he's a 3 technique, he could cheat his alignment if he sees how the kid's standing a little bit, and he could cheat that, grab him, make a play. You know what I mean?
And
just adapt to it.
I'm glad you.
And you're not going to redirect that either because it's like, you didn't cheat your alignment. You just cheated a little bit to gain advantage.
And I'm glad you broke it down like that. I mean, obviously a lot of people can't break it down like that. But that's something that he can do literally.
That's a football player.
Play
So
by
his
play.
football
Play
101
by
is
play. It's to a T.
Yeah, it's to a T because
And
it's
so is Kelly. So is Kelly Davis, the quarterback.
Yeah, so Mikhail Davis going to Army, your quarterback. You have offensive lineman Zafir Stewart. Is he
Big guy.
playing?
Yeah, he's playing.
Illinois.
Big guy.
He's going to Illinois.
Jesus.
Jabri Wallace Coleman is playing Friday.
Yep.
Going to Georgia Bulldogs. The defense, Jasir Whittington, Pitt, he's ready to go. David Johnson, Zahir Mathis, Kenny Wosley, he is playing.
State.
Going to Penn State, and the Simon Gratz transfer.
Sadi, Samir Locke.
Is he eligible?
He's playing. Yep.
Okay.
He's playing.
What
He's
position
actually
does he
he's
play?
He's a corner. So he's another. He has about like 10 Power 5 offers.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. So he's
Who was the kid from Chichester that transferred to Chi from Imhotep, number 1?
Baji, something like that.
He's good.
Yeah, he was good. But he was just he was cool. He was just in a running back room at Imhotep.
All right, let's get some. I want to bring up the connections here. Patrick Fisher, Strathaven grad, 2010, is your
DC
defensive coordinator.
Yep.
He always busts my chops because I always predicted Strathaven was going to beat him a couple of years ago in our poll. I had to. Strathaven's a Delco team. I got to root for him. I got to. No, I'm not root, but predict they were going to win. So tell us about Patrick Fisher. Here's a shout for you, Patrick. He's going to be in. I guess he's going to be coaching right next to me in the press box, and he said I got to keep the mic a little bit farther away because he might curse. But you know Patrick, obviously. We'll get to that.
I don't really know who he is.
Okay, well, tell us about Mr. Fisher here, the Strathaven grad. He played for Clancy.
Yeah, so he's our DC. He been doing a pretty good job. Obviously, our D-backs have the record this year for the most interceptions in Imhotep history.
It's crazy.
So I mean, he been doing a pretty good job. I'm not sure how much we outnumber our opponents, but I do know it's by a landslide. So as far as his success on the defense, he's been doing a good job. I mean, we're undefeated, so teams haven't been scoring much. We went against a Roman Catholic offense, a Roman Catholic defense, who played against the Mafia team, who barely scored on offense, who played against a St. Joe's Prep team, who the score was lump-sided, but St. Joe's Prep didn't score 4 offensive touchdowns. I don't think they maybe might have scored 3, and that came with good field position. Right. So it was our success, as far as I just spoke on the offensive side and the defensive side. Our success, offensive side, a crazy number. I think last year we just passed 242 first downs on the season. As far as like offense,
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Strathaven grad Brian Moore, 2001,
Yeah,
but he won.
56.
He's the O-line. Yeah.
Okay, so
He's got a good upside. He's going to
that
be
his son, Brian's son, Brian won a state championship with
Baltimore.
Strathaven,
Yep.
2000. So his son, tell us about number 56 for
So
Imhotep.
he actually played guard last year. So
He's
he was
playing
guard.
tackle now.
He's playing tackle now, and it's crazy because he had a tough summer. He had to go against guys like the guys we just talked about,
Yeah.
John Witt,
Pitt and Georgia, Alabama.
and it's not easy. It's not
it's
easy.
not.
But it made him
better.
better. It made him a lot better. I mean, he went from it's also not easy to go from guard to tackle as well. So
He's long though. He's got
he's
long
long.
arms.
He got great upside, like you said.
He's
He got great
athletic.
upside. So he's one of them guys.
He's
where,
got the DNA of toughness.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
His dad's tough.
And all right, so I'm glad you said that because he's one of them guys where that struggled a little bit when he first got the Imhotep.
Yeah, he had a little
Because,
baby fat on him.
You know, yup. So it took him a while to adapt to obviously that inner city North Philly area as well.
Oh, yeah,
it
for
took him
sure.
a while to adapt to that. So now the more and more football being played, the better he's getting.
He's
with
comfortable.
adapting.
He's got the swagger to him now. Like he's got the comfortability. I could just even when he like you watch some of the games and clips of him, just his posture, his stance,
Yeah,
the way he kicks slides and stops.
You see it?
His
Yeah,
posture
exactly.
is 50-50.
Yup.
Takes half the body. He
Yup.
knows.
So
he
he's
doesn't
in that-
shorten the edge. You know
There
what I
you
mean?
go. There you go.
So like the thing is this: like when you look at that, you look at athletic ability. When you look at those kids, when they get back and they're here, not turning,
Right,
They're
right,
kicking
right,
and
right,
they're here,
right.
and now it's boom, boom
Quality
inside,
football. Quality
up and down,
football.
1-2. Like,
Quality
you know what I mean?
football,
So the kid's he's going to be a Division I kid. He's
because he got 2 more to go.
Yes,
so.
Brian Moore's son, number 56, 6'3", 265 pounds, sophomore.
he'll be 300 pounds by the time he's a
All right,
senior.
real quick. OG Bobby, my Facebook buddy. I still don't know his real name, and I forgot. I'm sorry about that, but his son is number 32, Jordan Smith.
Jordan Smith.
6 foot sophomore. Great picture. Him and Deshaun Jackson. A couple weeks ago, Deshaun from Chester leading rusher this year. Unbelievable year. Tell us about Jordan.
Well, Jordan is another young guy. Jordan's a young guy who, I mean, Jordan been playing since last year. He's a starter again on one of the best, I believe the best team in the state. So Jordan he's playing good quality football. He's a quiet guy, so he don't talk too much. He's a guy that's going to do his job. He's going to get his job done. He's another one, who had to adapt. He's from, he's from the Woodland, Chester area, but he's, went to Ridley, so he's another one that had to adapt to that.
Oh, so he would have gone, okay.
Yeah, yup. Mm-hmm. So he's another one who had to adapt to that inner city area. Just with us playing a lot more football, it gave him the time to do so. So he's another one like Brian who be getting better, like most young guys do that has potential. He been getting better week by week. So he been doing a hell of a job.
He wouldn't be starting as a sophomore on your offensive line if he wasn't good.
Yeah,
it's like being in the NFL. If you're the kid that DeVito from the Giants that goes like this, he's in the NFL.
Right.
He doesn't suck. He's good.
So just Strathaven, Imhotep. It's going to be the semifinals. Winner will take on either Peters Township from the Whippeal. They're loaded, but Cocalico out west in the other 5A. Cocalico's from a small town of Denver. I don't know how they do it. Horse and buggies, Amish, but they're an unbelievable high school football team.
Yep.
You can't even worry about them right now.
Right,
but I know
right.
Strathaven. Well, real quick, in 60 seconds, can you tell me what Strathaven thinking right now, the coaches and all that stuff? I mean, because I'd love to have them on the show, but at least I have you.
Thanks, Dave. It makes me feel good.
Well, no, I'd like to have them with you, but anyway.
No,
so.
I'm messing with you. No, Kevin Clancy's not going to change anything he's doing. Everyone knows he's run first, and sometimes when you think he's going to pass, he's going to run the ball. He's definitely not going to go for it on 4th down. If it's a short side of the field, he's going to punt. If it's plus 50 in a game like Imhotep, I would say he'd be a little more aggressive because the opportunity to ball control and getting that possible 1st down to make something happen, whether it's a field goal or possibly a touchdown. But I would say if he's behind the 50-yard line, I would punt, and I would punt it out of bounds. If he's past the 50-yard line, he's going to try, and he's going to be aggressive because it's state semifinals playoff, and he's going to try, and the kids are going to make some plays because they're kids, and that's what they do. But it's going to be an uphill battle with the kids that they have in the middle and the defensive front. The front seven's tough. So, the kids from Strathaven can't get discouraged when it doesn't go their way because it's going to be adverse times. They're going to get smacked in the mouth. They just got to bring the same energy back, and they got to try to fight as hard as they can and make it a game. And hopefully,
you guys have some beasts, man. Number 20. You got
so Marco Kaufman.
Marco,
he's different. I noticed that when I was there. He was a sophomore, and I just loved his energy. The quarterback, Jake Kitchen, one of the funniest kids I ever met.
5'8".
Yeah, he is so freaking funny. Like the kid this had me in stitches, like JV football, like just a good all around kid.
One guy who's not, you're gonna, and you saw him,
Shane Green.
I mean, he's gonna
run. Like, listen, he doesn't give it. I'm telling you right now, he don't give a crap about that kid going to Pitt. He's gonna put his head down and try to run his ass. And he's gonna get hit. But guess what? He's going to come back again and get hit again. You know what I'm saying?
So you're on top of it.
You're talking about Shane Green. That's who I took the words out of your mouth.
Really
Dave.
looking forward to the game. Really looking forward to the game. And real quick, back to Deshaun Jackson of Chester. Almost over 1,300 yards at least this year. Ineligible for the playoffs. The transfer, whatever, and what a year for Deshaun. He had a great attitude on the sidelines in the postseason.
He sure did.
We got to give him a shout.
Got to give him a shout. And he's another kid, Dave, that, who, speaking of adversity, who, had his situation at Ridley, not even starting. I mean, maybe,
how don't you start him?
Backup linebacker. I mean,
how don't you start him?
Isaiah Freeman.
14. Listen. The reason I say Freeman's at Chester is because Strathaven doesn't throw the ball, and I'm glad he went to Chester because he's having a great career at Lincoln.
He
so
was playing linebacker.
Yeah, right, but you know what I'm saying. So it's one of those things. It's like you just want to see a great game. You want to make sure the kids come out healthy, and no one gets hurt, and everything's good, and someone's got to lose.
Yeah, for sure.
But Deshaun Jackson.
So shout out the Ghost, man. Deshaun,
Ghost.
What he did, Dave, was remarkable. I mean, he had 1,300 rushing yards before the postseason,
and he was a good defensive player.
That's crazy. Before the postseason, he would have rushed for like 1,700-800.
I mean, it's a good with them winning as many games. I mean, you put him in that Strathaven game. That's a different game. So he possibly get 4 extra games to play football. I mean, and that was 1,300.
Well, the good news is he is back next year.
He's back and number 2.
So he's back. So he's
number 2 and 3. We're going to go by numbers here. They're sophomores.
Yeah,
and number 4 is only a junior.
Yeah.
Shamar.
And those 2 big ass kids you took a picture of are sophomores.
They're sophomores.
Holy
7 kids. Blank.
I gotta talk to your brother.
And after that success, I'm pretty sure some more coming. So shout out to Ghost. He had a hell of a season, man. Shout out to Chester football, just in general, what they did to even be in the district championship.
It's phenomenal.
To go up against Kevin Clancy.
It changes the program. It changes these kids' attitude.
Like they got to play in a district. They got to play in a district football.
Now Chester has a different swagger coming into the season. Now because they've been there. Now it's like they've been there, and now they know how to get there, and they're going to get back.
So it's no coincidence that the first time Chester went was what Dave, maybe 2 years ago.
No,
the first time they ever been to the playoffs. Maybe 2 years ago.
In the spring season, we won the spring season.
What the hell? What? The spring season. All right.
They didn't play in
my bad.
Whatever. They didn't play in the fall 2021. Yeah. All right, but we won that spring season.
And lost first game playoffs?
No, we won. It was a regular seazen. I think we played 5 games, and then there was a championship with Harry S. Truman.
Okay. Yeah. So that's how that season went.
And we beat Ben Johnson.
So after that.
But we lost first round to Kennett, and then 2 years ago. That, you won last year we beat Marple in a very tough game. Yep. And then Dom. He couldn't play against Plymouth Whitemarsh beat us up there, and then this year. So
I said all that to say this to conclude with that. To not go to the playoffs ever in Chester history. To
get to the district championship.
To outwork your opponents throughout the year. Yeah. Now you make the playoffs. Okay, you don't get where you got to get to, but you make the playoffs. You made noise. The following year, you win a playoff game. Did they win 2?
No, they
won 3 this year.
The year prior.
We beat Marple in the first round, and the quarterfinals lost at Plymouth Whitemarsh.
Yep. So you get to the playoffs, you lose. The following year, you win a playoff game. The following year after that, you get to the district championship. So there's no coincidence to what's going on.
No, there's not. I think what the upside for Chester is, and I'm like, this kid Harris, the number 2 kid, I think he's special.
Duran
Harris is special.
And who knows, because
and having that Jackson kid back next year full time, it changes the dynamics. And then the twin, the number 3 Harris,
comes back as well.
It's like crazy because if you don't stop him,
Imhotep goes up to 6A next year.
Listen, if you don't stop Harris at quarterback, he's got that ability, that big play ability, where you got kids like his brother and Jackson. If you're throwing the ball, he can go make a play.
And let's be honest, you got to deal with that in high school and down here for 2 more years.
That's crazy.
For
It's going to be longer than
years.
2 more years because you got the
pipeline
pedigrees coming up.
man,
Like so, it's like
so it was great. Like it was a pipeline created, and it's just something you would have never expected in Chester.
Yeah.
Something that you seen it with Chester basketball.
I expected it because of what Coach Bell has done over the last 8 to 9 years.
So let me emphasize that it was something you would have never expected in the past.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure.
What Coach Bell did, not even just with Dennis. What Coach Bell did with every guy on
program.
that staff and that program,
He built them.
Yeah,
And he allowed them to coach.
He did. That was the best part.
And the
Because
reason the kids are winning is because those position coaches were allowed to coach.
Shout out to Coach Bell.
Yeah,
the
Mr. Bell was-
the first place
Yes.
I started at, and that was my main question. Will he let me do what I do?
Absolutely,
And
let
his
you, as long as
response-
you demand that presence.
And that was it. That was
Yeah.
and that was literally his response. Like that was his response, and that's what he stood on. So just by doing that, he not only did he build the maturity within the coaches, but he also built the trust as well. He trusted them, and it shows. Like Dennis is having this success because Lamar is
The
having
foundation
success as
was built.
offensive coordinator. Sam is having the success as defensive coordinator. Nakia is having success on the defensive line. Coach Peach has had success with all the stuff that he got.
Got
Peach is the
Peach
man.
Howard, your boy Jim.
He's been around
You
forever.
know,
Jason
Baldy,
McCarthy.
June. They're all they're D-backs. Their D-backs play phenomenal this year.
Yeah.
But they got Laquan Robinson who was an All-American in college. June who was a Junior Nelson who was an All-American in college. So it's
the atmosphere.
The atmosphere is finally there, and it's the right guys there where
Yeah.
those kids is adapting.
You gotta-
it's finally it's how you guys had a pipeline.
They got a pipeline.
The pipeline is now created.
Well, yeah, and that's what I stand on too, because I've always said it, and I'm not capping or nothing. I think Chester is going to make some noise down the road, and they're going to continue to have that success. And I firmly believe that with that speed they have and some of them key linemen that they have, that kid Solomon, he was a freshman.
Right.
The center, he's tough. He's got a good body on him. Like, you look at these kids. I went to the one game, and I'm like, yo, like, let me
We got
work.
DeAndre P. and
We could talk till midnight.
right. I mean, Damon, number 14.
Larry come back, right?
Larry McDaniel, number 1. He's back, and so is Melvin.
You got to give me a spreadsheet on kids that are coming
I
back
got-
and
I
all
got
their
it all.
statistics.
Mr. Jimerson says hi. Okay, there he is. And we have
Oh, my mom graduated from Strathaven.
your mom.
It was Nether Providence back then. But she graduated from Strathaven.
Where's your mom at?
She just commented on there right now.
Does she remember me? Because
She probably didn't say nothing about me.
all right, and then Anthony Myers checking in, and Khalid Watkins.
Khalid, yes,
Khalid
sir.
Watkins. All right, so I'm 65. I graduated 1976 from Strathmore,
You're old.
Nether Providence. So your mom she's a little bit younger than me, probably.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 60. I'll be 66.
He looks like he's 50.
She a little bit. She a little bit younger. Yep. She a little bit younger. Thank you. But yeah, she's Nether Providence. Yep.
Well, Nether Providence had the
So your
82,
mom,
83.
that's why the sports were real
Yeah,
embedded
it was-
into her heart.
Yeah, yep.
And
Yep.
Jim
Well, your
Connor,
mom's done a great job raising you and your brother. I think,
appreciate it. Thank you.
Mom, you're listening. So
and watching everything's on
watch
YouTube.
it.
I'll send the link.
and watching.
And Jim Connor was the first head coach at Strathaven.
Yeah, he did.
The fall of 1983. So
Jim Connor is a big reason why they're successful. He's a hell of a football
and they're
coach.
all great job.
Just a great family.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Chris Edwards, Strathaven great, PIAA state champ 99, Ridley great, Delco, the part of the Shaw family, Mr. Dion Shaw, and you're the GOAT. It's a great interview, and we could keep talking and talking.
doubt,
We tried
no
our
doubt.
best to cover it all. Everything you can always reach out to us on Facebook. Christopher Edwards, you're finally back on Facebook.
Don't tell everybody that.
Well, people can ask you questions.
Yeah, they're
That's
allowed
great.
to.
Yeah, I like when people ask me. Most people come to me for the old school stuff,
Yeah.
the research. Like I found an article on you, and we could talk in next hour. We can't do it now, but
My mom said 1982.
Oh, 82. Okay,
I was
she
born
knows
in
me.
81,
My
Mom.
brother, yeah, okay. My brother Marty graduated in 86. But we could talk an hour about Dennis Decker, who he played for,
I
and
love
you
Dennis.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, so who I was hoping can get into the Hall of Fame, but I've never met Dennis in person. Anyway, Dave Burman, Delco Sports 360. What a game it's going to be. 7 o'clock, PIAA 5A state semis at Coatesville High School. It's Strathaven taking on Imhotep. We'll see you then.
Make sure you're there, man.
Yo.